get started in a minute. Bear with me. All right, Shalom. Where the Hebrew Israelites come in week and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, right? Also known as the United Snakes of America, which is, what do they call? What do they say? What's the term they use nowadays? I forget. What is it? Toasted, something like that. I don't know. I'll think of it. Anyway, America's out of there. All right. So we come in week and week out to, help this place by speaking it into existence. Its complete downfall and exasperation. Right? To wake up the people on the sun, the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, Speckled Bird, all right? Get you to repent, acknowledge your offense, pray for forgiveness, get back in order before it's too late, and it's almost too late as we speak, all right? Cooked. America is cooked. Like, what's the new term that they use, right? Cooked. All right. I remember right on, brother, right on. I remember right on was the new slang came out straight out the ghetto. Right on. Right? Before Esau got a hold of it. Right on. Like we're the former of all things. Anyway, first and foremost, right? All praises due to face the east. All praises due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Kakadash. Double honors to the other apostles and other bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them and taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and sincerity of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. All right. Aquat that are listening, learning, being a pillar of rest. 144,000, one third, the hopeful elect of Israel. All right. Shalom. All right. So, yes, sir. Shalom. Y'all. 51:12. Book of Jeremiah 51. In verse 12. So I can do it. Jeremiah 51:12. This is not what I want. It's lucky. I can read that too, but I'll read it in a little bit. I want wow. Wow. $59.19. Salaki. All right, Jeremiah 59:19. Salaki for that. There is no 59. Isaiah 59. I'm going to start the camp over. Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. All right. Now, Salakia, that it took forever for that one to come in. But here we are, waiting for the enemy to come in like a flood, all right? Twiddling our thumbs, right? If you understand what that means. So, brother, Isaiah Allah, Shalom, Shalom, beloved. Yeah, we're waiting for the slightest mishap, right? Because what do we want? We want that spiritual power. All right? We're waiting. We've been waiting, right? And what do we see right now? We see Jake getting roused up, right? We see Esau doing what Esau does, which is to provoke, right? To play victim and get in Jake's face to provoke him, right? And there was one Jake, I forget where he was from, back east somewhere. He laid it all out perfectly. He was like, yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do it. Don't do it. Because we're going to unleash that, forgot what he called it, swarm or something like that. He referred to it as a swarm, right? And he was right. He broke it down perfectly. He actually broke down what we're about to see take place. Okay, he said once it gets started, it's not going to stop. He's right. Okay, once you ignite that firestone, he broke it down. He said once Jake, right, once black people, right, understand that this is it, it's not going to stop. Okay, so he's describing, right, what very well could bring that standard, right? Because again, Esau is not going to stop being Esau, which is he thinks he has to get in Jake's face and tell him what to do. And Jake got one more straw on the camel's back right now. It's that last straw. And we're waiting, right? It could come, right? These protests are flaring up, right? Because then they have some little fighting out at the last protest, and they're trying to get Jake involved, and, you know. And then if they can't get it one way, they're going to get it the other way. So they're stirring the pot, so to speak. So, and we can see that clearly. All right. So it's only a matter of time before the standard. The standard could be martial law. That's the enemy coming in as a flood. What could cause that? Well, what do we see on the horizon? We see the race war. You can't, I mean, now you can become a millionaire. Who isn't plotting? What white supremacist isn't plotting right now, right, to become a millionaire by saying the word nigger? If I was any white person, I'd be like this. I'd go get my black friend. I don't even have to be a white supremacist. I'll go get my black friend, right? Say, hey, I'll split a meal with you, right? And what you do is you get your black friend to film you, doing something, and then say, nigger, and then, nigger, and then your black friend says, say it again, nigger, and then blow it up, right? Get it to go viral, right? And then set up a GoFundMe, and then split the money with your black friend. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go get a white boy, right? I'm gonna go get a Edomite. Say, hey, let's make some money. Let's make some quick money, right? You say nigger, nigger, nigger. We blow it up viral and then set up a GoFundMe. Who's not thinking of that right now? Because the little girl who did that, there all kind of pictures coming out with her kissing, slobbing all up on Negroes. I mean, how does that work? I'm a white supremacist, I'm a white, but here you are, right? Tongue fucking the nigga, right? Oh, but that's not me, that's CGI, that's some Emmett Till shit, right? It's lucky. Go back to that slot. Yeah, the smart thing would be to make a video and make it go viral and play the race card. It's Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight. Everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmer, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. So the time that we're in right now is absolutely crazy. Here come the race wars. Here come the civil war, right? War, 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 war. What time are we in? Ecclesiastes 3 and 1. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Ecclesiastes 3 and 8. A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. All right? You tell me what time we're in. 2 Ezra 13 and 30. Start at 29. Hold on. 2 Ezra 13 and 29. Behold, the days come when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth, and it shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. So all of this fighting, right? Why all this fighting? Well, because we're in the time of what? War. What do you do in a war? Well, one side fights against the other side. Okay, explaining that this whole thing is about war. This is 2 Ezra 16, 70, 74. So lucky, not 74. Bear with me, Salah. Yeah, so lucky, hold on. Second Ezra 16 and 34 in the wars. Salakia. Started at 33. 2 Ezra 16:33. The virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. Okay? So simultaneously, while these wars, right, are happening, you got World War III, all right, which is going on right now. Are they calling it World War III? You got, let's see, India, Pakistan, North Korea, South Korea, China, Taiwan, USA, whatever the fuck is going on in Libya right now, right, and Turkey. Right, you got the genocide down there in Gaza. You got all manner of shit everywhere. How about that? Okay. You tell me if that's a world war. Okay, so that's a war, the world war. Then you got civil wars happening. Civil war in Israel right now. Civil war in Pakistan. Civil war in India. Right. Civil war in Iran. These are all wars, right? Got the race war coming up, right? And all these wars are going to be going on simultaneously, okay? While they're locking people up, right? Putting them in concentration camps here in America, right? During the Civil War, martial law, right? Shit, gang wars, cartels, right? Marauders, a fight, a nigger and a white. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 68. 2 Ezra 16 and 68. For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. All right? That's coming up, and it's got a name. 2 Ezra 16:74. Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble. What trouble? Jacob's trouble. The days of trouble are at hand. But I will deliver you from the same. So, there's nothing but war. There's nothing but fighting. There's nothing but trouble. Jacob's trouble. Okay? There's nothing but pilgrimage. There's nothing but uncomfortability ahead of you. Only comfort we're going to have is the comforter. That's the only comfort you need. Okay? You're in the war. You got to understand you're in the war right now. Almost had a casualty, right, within our ranks. That should wake you the fuck up, right? Whereas before, you would come, you're not going to come with an AK strapped to your hip, but you might have a little dagger, just in case you gotta, defend yourself. Somebody might try to run up. Right? We're in that time now. Right? Again, still no automatic weapon, or you don't need no body armor or anything. Just a little, you know. But the brother, he had a little Roscoe, but you know, you gotta not use that mother. You gotta have it, but not use it, lest G go to jail, right? Lest you go do some time. Certainly don't kill nobody. If you gotta squeeze one off and shoot that dude in the foot, right? Don't shoot it if you got it. Because what happens after that, then they got you anyway. But, all right, protect yourself, of course. You're on the battlefield. Now, all right, whew. There's two wars going on. There's the spiritual war and then there's the physical war. Which one are you in? All right, you might have to defend yourself, but don't kill nobody. Right? Don't kill nobody. That's not smart. Just like it's not expedient to have a wife right now. Well, it's not expedient to kill nobody right now. Okay, like the guy, the kid who defended himself against the two brothers, right? He defended his self-defense. I mean, it ain't self-defense for you. It's self-defense, but you're still going to prison. So what are you going to do? Yeah, defend yourself, but don't kill nobody. And I'm sure that, you know, he didn't expect to stick the dude and he was going to die, right? That wasn't his intent, unless it was, or whatever the case. But the point is don't kill nobody, because look at what happened to this nigga. All right? You defend yourself, and then, you know, successfully. But does that apply to you? Do you get to go home? No, you don't. That's the point. So what are we supposed to be doing? Right? Wise as the devil, the serpent, and harmless as a dove. Harmless, don't harm yourself. Don't be a harm to yourself. Don't, well, I defended myself, I killed that mother. No, you're locked up. You need a better plan. That's a nigga's plan. That don't work. How do you remain at large? Don't kill nobody. Defend yourself. That's the spiritual battle. Don't kill nobody. Right? There'll come time, right? The time is coming, right? Which I don't condone it. I don't suggest it. I said don't kill nobody. But the time will come when people will kill other people and nothing will happen. That time is coming. Okay? Why am I saying don't kill them? Well, because the consequences of that could be that you could go to prison, right? On some bullshit, manslaughter. You know how this devil's got it all, written for him. Or what? Or whatever. Written for the criminal. So you got to be careful. Second Ezra 16:71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of. Hey, they come to cast you out of your house. Nigga, you should have been gone. They shouldn't have to cast you out. You're supposed to agree with your adversary quickly and be the fuck up out of the house before they start knocking. You're supposed to be on your fucking merry way with a stick and a knapsack on the back of the stick. Okay, they shouldn't have to cast you. You know they're coming, right? If you're a man of the Lord, you know they're coming, right? Well, you're supposed to know when it's time to go. Right? Where does it say, hunker down, motherfucker, and stay where you're at? It doesn't say that. All right? You've got explicit instructions on how to move on the battlefield. Yea, though I walk through the battlefield of the shadow of death. Hell, you think that is? That's battle, and that's a op order, op line. This is how you maneuver. Yea, though I walk through the battlefield of America in these last days while I'm being hunted, right? Because they're trying to put down the hopeful elect. And you have to act accordingly. You have to understand. Boy, if you don't know that the FBI and the CIA are watching you right now, and how are you moving? Right? You got to move like you know they're watching. Can't hide nothing. You know everything I do. All right? So put it on out there. Right? I'll stand on it. Get that list down to nothing. Because they're coming. Let me read that again. 40. Here it is. Leviticus 73. 2 Ezra 16:73. Then shall they be known who are my chosen. How? How and why will they know who are my chosen? Because they're going to cast them out of the house. It says. 2 Ezra 16:70. '72. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Okay? They're coming after you. They're coming to get you. All right? What time are we in right now? Well, the knock on the door time. We're in the time of the knocking on the door. So you need a plan, buddy. Revelation 2 and 10. They're coming to get you. I read this, I might have to do a lesson on it. I had to go into the archives of my custody battle with my daughter, right? And I read this, fucking statement that my baby mama made about, well, I thought that you could keep your views and your religious beliefs to yourself and all that, and I thought we were doing pretty good, and now you have doubled down, and now you went to jail in San Francisco behind that, and now I was like, oh shit. And this is in 2013, and I'm laughing, right? At just some of the things that you have gone through in this truth. Right? Anyway, I just thought that was interesting, and Lord willing, I'll do a lesson on it. If I could get it to come up, take a screenshot or whatever. Thought it was very interesting at best. Revelation 2 and 10 selected. That knock at the door is coming. Revelation 2 and 10, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that ye may be tried. Let's put that into current day term. They're going to knock on your door at 4 a.m, catch you half asleep, right? Trying to put your drawers on, run up in the house and grab you up, right? Put a black bag over your head and throw you in the motherfucking cattle car and take you where? To a sea camp. Martial law, buddy. That's what this is talking about. Then they're going to give you a choice. They're going to torture you, which thou shalt suffer. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Torture. Pulling your fingernails out the bed. Shoving chips of sticks up in your fingernails, and pulling your teeth out with pliers, whatever whatever the little torturist walks in with his little black bag of the glasses and the hat, right? Look up Abu Ghraib, right? Torture techniques of Abu Ghraib. What's going on in Guantanamo right now? Revelation 2 and 10, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer, that torture. Okay. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison that ye may be tried. What trial? Torture. What trial are you doing? The torture. Okay. Waterboarding. You heard of it, motherfucker. You don't know what it is, right? I heard of waterboarding. Oh, well, you'll soon find out. Aquaman. All right. You're going to strap your ass to that waterboard and you'll see how well you do. Shit. And while they're waterboarding you, right? That's where this comes in at, okay? Let me read this part. Be thou faithful until death. See, when you're strapped to a waterboard, right? What it's doing is making you believe that you're drowning. Okay? So when you find yourself strapped to a waterboard as a man of the Lord, here's how you deal with it. Okay? So you think of these things. As a man of the Lord, you count the cost. What could possibly happen? Well, the worst case scenario is Chanel number 5 could come down and slop my head off like that. That's one of the worst case scenarios. 2, I could be strapped to a waterboard. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means that they're going to make you believe that you're being drowned to death. So what do you do in that case? Well, you just go ahead and drown. Here's how you get it. Well, if I drown, then I'm good. So if you wake up and you're not drowned, then they didn't drown you, but it's okay if they did. You understand? If my head winds up in a basket and an old Chanel number 5 got me, I win. It's luck. You know what that's called? Counting the cost. And you do it from 0 counting up. What is the bottom? Well, the bottom is death by the blade, right? Death by starvation. But see, this devil, he don't want to starve you. He wants your organs and da-da-da-da-da-da. But what you have to do, this is what the elder apostles suggest. Well, you got to put yourself into the scripture. You got to put yourself into the situations. The elder apostle Rakar says a lot. The elder apostle Gabar. You got to put yourself in the situation, right? So you're in that line, right? You're in the long line. The short line is the one. The short line is the one for the chip, right? Just go to. The long line is the one that ain't. I'm not taking that shit. Well, you're in Chanel number 1, number 5. Okay. Then what? Well, it's gonna be a long wait, and then after that, you get up there and you say, "Hey, I'm gonna be on that chariot first." This is called counting the cost. See, we're in the time right now that changes have to be made. Right? We're no longer, right, just out there as a target, right? Got to be a level of defense, right? Not carnal defense, but you put one dagger for defense, and then you get ready to remove yourself, go to a different place. There are tactics, right? And what does that spell? Well, any day now, enemy is going to come in like a flood, or the famine of the word. Those two things are on the table right now. Right? If it's going to be hectic for us to be out there and we're a big ass target, then the Spirit of the Lord through Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to put the decree out that we're pulling you off the street, which is exactly the same thing that would happen if they called for martial law and the enemy came in like a flood. We'd be pulled off the street. The ministry would be over at that. That level of the ministry would be over. So these are the things that you should be thinking of moving forward, right? Because it's going to change in weeks. Things are going to change between now and next week. What could happen? Okay, martial law, race war, lights go out, any number of things, right? Lockdown because of a protest, somebody started shooting and it caused a chain reaction. Now there's a race war. Anything could happen at any moment, and when it does, right, wherever you're at, hear that knock on the door? That equates to things happening and you moved into the next phase or the next level of being in this truth, right? Things are going to start becoming much more active than they have been, starting with the brother being attacked, right? That needs to be acknowledged, and we have to move accordingly, all right? You really got to be circumspect. You got to see a motherfucker intent while he's running up. A few yards away, say, oh, assess the situation and react. First thing, when you see trouble, first thing, how about you, shot? And then, whatever to protect yourself. Because why? Because you're on that battlefield, man. You're on that battlefield. And I mean, if you don't know it now, you should know it. You should know you're on the battlefield now and that the fight is on. Because if you don't figure it out until it's too late, and too late means everybody knows, right? What you don't know. Because you're caught up in it and you ain't ready. Right? You got to know that it's going on now, and you got to be fighting it, so that when everybody finds out, you're in good case. You want to be in good case, right? You have to be moving before everybody else finds out. You got to be actively leaving, because when everybody finds out, that's the chaos moment. And if you're not ahead of the chaos moment, you can get caught up in there. You could be on the other side of town, right, away from your base of operations. When it goes down, you're separated. That's not good. Okay. Unless you've made plans for being separated at that moment, which you should have. You should have, oh, I'm on this side of it, well, just go that way. I'm good. Those are my plans. Oh, just, which is a plan. If you've, considered or counted the cost, you got to contemplate what may or may not happen moving forward. And I mean, a prudent man, what? Let's get that. Look at that. You gotta be prudent. Bear with me while I find this. Looketh well. Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. Okay? Now's the time to be prudent. What should a prudent man be doing right now? A prudent man should be looking well into his going. What is your going right now? Well, you should understand the time that you're in. What time are you? You're in the time of war, you're in the time of fighting, you're in the time of becoming a pilgrim. 2 Ezra 16:40. Those are your instructions. 2 Ezra 16:40. Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle. And in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. Okay, so those are the things that you should be thinking about moving forward. When am I going to have to leave? What do you mean leave? Leave? You're going to be a pilgrim. Get ready. Okay, what phase of the operation are we entering? Well, we're in the part where they knock on the door, they run up, right? Because they got to try to stop this word from going out. We're speaking this thing into existence. They know it. Here's what's been happening with me. Okay, and I'm sure that other brothers are going through it and they're reluctant to say it, but man, this last year, everything that I want or that, would be pleasing to me is making its way into the truth. And, and those are the things that you examine. You're like, wait a minute, how is that, is that what I want, or how is this happening? So you scrutinize and you examine with a fine, magnifier. And you come to the conclusion that, hey, I'm speaking these things into existence, right? And that's spiritual power. Just like, we came into this thing, we didn't know how to wield the truth. We didn't understand how the spirit worked. But then eventually, as you got better at, and with practice and with experience, you become better and better at what you do. So same thing with spiritual power. One moment you don't have it, the next moment you know how to wield it. Even flying, you have to think, right? Hancock, for example. You just know how to fly instantly? Or will it take a little time not to completely destroy the concrete when you come in for a land? Oh, I got to work on my landing, right? No, with spiritual power, you're going to master it the first day, have complete mastery over it the first day, or will you, grow? How does the Most High work? And I'm not saying that he can't do that. He can do what the hell he wants to do. But the point I'm making is walk like, meaning assume the responsibility that comes along with, walk like you have spiritual power now. Because the Most High ain't giving spiritual power to a nigga. Al-Azhar ain't getting spiritual power. Okay? You understand? Somebody who I'm going to give you all of this power, but you're a nigga? You're going to be a nigga with this? No. Niggas are not getting spiritual power. Okay, so if you're out there being a nigga and you want spiritual power, you gotta reverse course. You gotta try something different. Okay? So, because we want that. Because we want spiritual power. All right? That's what we want. In its entirety. We want it all, right? And we do want to fly, and we do want to land perfectly, right? So you have to think those things into existence. You have to think your salvation into existence. You have to think about that little bag with the stick and when it's time to leave, right? And make that part of your plan. You got to make, well, old as I am and my knees don't work, but God damn it, if I'm going to get spiritual power, I got to start now, right? And build up so that I can walk and so I can squat and do some of those things so that when the power does come, then, you know, you got to be building up for that thing right now. Get your mind right for it. What does it say? Let's read that again. See, because the nigga will leave out the main, all that meat. This is 2 Ezra 16 and 40. All right. See, the word that everybody focuses on is pilgrim. Pilgrim. Oh, you did a pilgrim. You did a pilgrim. I'm a pilgrim. Right? Yep. But what does it say about the pilgrim? It says, 2 Ezra 16 and 40, oh my people, hear my word. Here's the most important part. Make you ready to thy battle. That's more important. Pilgrim part, pilgrim on the battlefield. Pilgrim with spiritual armor on, ready to fight the spiritual battle. See, not just pilgrim out there walking. No, you're on the battle. Make you ready to what? You got a fight ahead of you, buddy. You got to know how to march 40 miles and then fight. And after you won, then you sit down and then walk again to the next battle. That's what it's saying. Make you ready. Ready for what? For the battle. How do you do that? Right? You got to be ready to fight. It's telling you, it's speaking of a fight. All right? Well, how do we? Well, we fight spiritually. Well, get ready. How? How? Well, you have to count the cost, contemplate, right? Before you go into battle, you need what? A battle plan. Right? You gotta, you don't just run up in there without a plan. How do you make you ready to thy battle? Well, we got a battle. We don't have a plan. Said make yourself ready. Well, that's before the battle. What do you do before the battle to get yourself? Well, we need a plan. Huddle up, muster formation. Show me a thrust. You need work on your thrust. Make you ready to your battle. That's the work you do before the battle happens. Are you doing that? No, you're not. You're not thinking about those things. Not thinking about your foot gear. You're not thinking about, But then you don't think about those things. You're told not to. Right? And when you're making your packing list, right, for your bag, right, you go through those things. Well, what about shoes? Well, I don't have to worry about that. Right? What about food? Well, I don't have to worry about that. But you still got to check it off. It's on the list. Oh, don't worry about that. But it's on the list. Part of the preparation. Food, check. That's taken care of. Clothes, taken care of. Or what you will wear, or water, those things. Why? Because we study. How do you make yourself ready to the battle, spiritual battle? Go back and search the scriptures, right? Read about what Joshua and Caleb did before they went in as spies and spied. I mean, man, things that were written for aforetime. You use that. You get in there, right? The fearlessness. What was David? What was King David, or he was just David at the time? What was he thinking? What was on his mind before he was going up against the motherfucking giant? What? How was he thinking? He's like, oh man, I got the Most High, nigga. You know, you gotta use. You know what spirit was David in? You know, what is the what's the lesson when you go back? Well, Esau's a giant. Oh, all gas motherfucker. Esau's a giant in the world right now. Okay. And you gotta go slay the giant. What did Joshua and Caleb see when they went on the spy? They saw a bunch of fucking giants. Who did King David have to take? They had to take a giant down. So Esau's a giant. We gotta take his ass down. How? Make you ready to what? Your battle. It's a spiritual battle, right? You got Christians coming out. The first wave of that's not much of a battle, but you know. And the second wave of Christians are going to come with weapons. Right now, they coming out trying to go mano a mano, which is right. Who's got mastery of the book? They get their ass whooped. Next thing, they can come out dagger squad, right? So get ready. That's still in the battle. And when they come out and try to start, you know, attacking us physically, that's when we wipe the dust and here comes the famine, right? What is it, Romans or Hebrews? So, bear with me. I know what I'm doing. Satan, boy. Fuck. Let me just read it. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So, enemy come in like a flood, famine of the word. This is what we're looking at coming up. Enemy coming in like a flood, martial law. Famine of the word. We're no longer going out there. I don't know about lessons, but we'll see how they do with this internet. If they shut down all the power and the blackout, everything halts. What shall you have then? You better be remembering these scriptures, right? Recite that thing from memory, all right? Because the famine is coming, all right? And at that point, right, your faith better be doubly strong. Second Ezra 6 and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. We're there. That's this week. What are you going to do? See, people think that this ain't coming, not understanding it started a few weeks ago. That supply chain is not being resupplied, so very soon and at any time, shit's gonna start going bad and it ain't gonna get better. All right, let's read this again because we're in the middle of this right now. People think, it's all good. You're sitting in that pot of water and it's boiling. You don't know it. 2 Ezra 6:22, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. The Dollar Tree ain't no, what do they call it, fronting. You're fronting the other product, pulling them to the front and across it looks like there's stuff there when there's not. Full frontal, right? And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Okay, we're there. We're waiting for that trumpet, that sound. Okay, we're waiting for that. That one that everybody, you're going to know it. Oh shit, I know. Oh man, I know what that means. Right? That's what they're talking about. Damn it. They're talking about that situation that happens. Oh shit. You know what that means. Right? You know what's coming. It says, 2 Ezra 6:23, and the trumpet shall give a sound which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And that's that. Like, that trumpet could be a mushroom cloud, right? Everybody sees that much, it's like, oh, there's the trumpet. Oh shit. Nukes are in play. See, this happened last week when Pakistan started fighting India. Everybody's like, oh shit. They both have nukes, right? So that was a different level. Shit done, they should have, what's up with the doomsday clock? Should have went up at least a whole second, right? The moment India started fighting Pakistan, the doomsday clock should have reacted to that. Why? Because they both have nukes. They trying to quiet and quell that thing down. Oh, we had a ceasefire. We had an agreement. No, you ain't. You got peace and safety. Is what you got. Okay? So, hey, we're just waiting. This is describing the moment that is about to happen. Again, that trumpet. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. I would like to read that in a different. Let's try to get that in. Let's see, 2 Ezra 6:23 in the NLT. Bear with me while I try to. Let's see what that says. Since I'm the only one here, I can take all the time I need, right? So bear with me. As I go on this search. I want second as So okay, hold on. Trumpet shall sound aloud, and when all hear it, they should be suddenly terrified. That's not what I want. Let's try the G&T real quick. I just wanted to say something different. It might not. G&T. Slovakia 23. A trumpet will sound with a blast. When all hear it, they will suddenly be terrified. Not very, not very much different. In that time, friends will make war on friends like enemies. The earth, along with those who live on it, will be terrified, and the sources of rivers will stand still so that they don't run for 3 hours. So anyway, yeah. Suddenly afraid. See, that's telling a big story. All right. It said, and the trumpet shall give a sound which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies. So do you know what this sounds like? A frequency change. See that trumpet sound thing? That's something, right? Because when it says trump, right, that word trump goes back to wave as in a frequency. So there's going to be a frequency change that's going to cause everybody to fight. That's what this is saying. It says, then suddenly, Salakia says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And then it says, and at that time, at what time? When they hear the trumpet, when they hear that frequency change, at that time shall friends fight one another, one against another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. That's a whole lot of fear of each other and fighting against each other. Okay? And it's going to happen kind of instantly according to this. And at that time, the time of the trumpet, which goes back to a wave or a frequency, right? Yeah, crazy. And the way that it's presenting this is all of these things are going to happen concurrently, all right? It says, and at that time shall friends fight. This is 2 Ezra 6 and 24. At that time shall friends fight. At what time? When that trumpet sounds. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation at the end of your world. So all of those things are kind of happening kind of back to back. So we're close, is the point behind it. All right? We're very close to, basically just watching this thing happen. All right? So you should be moving toward it happening instead of trying to prolong it. or wishing that it wouldn't happen. Because the natural inclination is, oh man, I'm not ready, or just a few more, no, nope, it's got to happen. Okay, the great race war of all time. Guess what? It has to happen in its time. Why? Because the Most High said that it's done. So you get rid. It's not about what you want. It's what the Most High is going to do. And if you're not in line with that, if you're not aligned with Yahweh Shem Yahshua, you're going the wrong way, man. You're going the wrong way. If you're trying to prolong the world, you're looking back like Lot's wife. If you're not ready, if you haven't gotten yourself ready for your battle and ready to be even as a pilgrim, you're in the world and you want this thing to go on for another 1,000 years with your little money, thinking that it's going to be any different than it is right now. No, it's going to get worse. See, you're cool right now. Oh, I could do this for another. It's not going to be this way in a week. It can be way bad. Can you do it then? Can you do it in the midst of chaos? No, you can't. And you won't. So you better get your motherfucking ass ready for the chaos. You got to go through it. You got to endure until the end, through the chaos. Here it comes. You ain't ready. You want I'm still getting, I ain't ready yet. I'm trying. No, hell no. Suddenly shall this shit happen. Meaning your ass ain't going to be ready. And you got to fucking do it anyway. See? No, you're not going to be, suddenly, you ain't ready for suddenly. The elect are ready for suddenly. Okay? That's who's ready for suddenly. Anyway. One more time. 2 Ezra 6:22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Next week. That's next week. That's this week. Dollar store shelves are empty. Dollar store shelves, that's it. That's this. Wake the fuck up. You're not putting two and two together. It's happening. It's going down now. It's not coming. It's happening now. It already happened. The tariffs, it already happened. Now, it's the time that it takes to feel it is here now. Now you're going to feel it, and suddenly it's going to be too late. Ain't no suddenly to those that are watching. Okay? If you're watching, there's no suddenly. Diligently watching. 2 Ezra 9:1, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. When thou seest part of the sun's pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that at the very same time wherein the highest will be given this, the world which you made. If you're watching, it's not gonna happen suddenly. If you're watching, you see it. You're telling other people. See, I'm telling you right now, are you listening? No. Nope, you're being told over and over. And he that often being reproved hardeneth his neck. And then there's no remedy. Paraphrase. Anyway. Get yourself ready for your battle. Get into it, okay? You should be living more truth than you're living world right now, okay? That's the balance. Of course there's got to be balance. I don't have to mention how well you're doing in the world. That doesn't need to be mentioned. What needs to be mentioned is how bad you're doing in the truth. That's what needs to be brought up. You don't need to be stroked about what you love doing, the wickedness you're doing in the world. You need to be checked about what you're not doing in this truth, because you're about to get left out. You're not heeding the call. And it's suddenly going to creep up on your head, and it's going to be too late. And there's the warning. Warn them from me. There's the warning. Ecclesiastes. Here's the warning too. On the way out. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High. There's the warning. And keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. Philippians 2 and 12, wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You are going to fear the Most High. You are going to tremble. You might as well be on the right side of it. The Most High is going to kick your ass in Jacob's trouble. And he can end you in Jacob's trouble too. Or he can wait until the missiles and end you then. And you're not afraid. You're not scared. You have been instructed time and time again to fear the Most High, and you're not doing it. Just get your ass ready for to be destroyed. If you can't bring yourself to fear, just get your ass ready to be destroyed. How do you do that? Go have as much fun as you want. Stop faking like you're in the truth. How about Shimmy, how Shabbat, Shimmakaka, that's right. The honors to the other apostles and elders, bishops and GM, even the elders that came before them to taught us the truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Hopefully, tabernacle day. Shalom.